Hey, it's Cheyanne and you're listening to Sin. Today I'm joined in the studio with the Sunshine Coast punk rock party starters that are Drawcard. Welcome, guys.
Thanks very much.
So do you want to go around and introduce who you are and what you do in the band?
Yeah, I'm Paul and I play guitar and sing.
I'm Andy. I play drums and do a little bit of backing vocals.
And I'm Mitch and I play the there's another couple of guys that aren't here. They're just kicking it in the streets of Melbourne. But yeah, Mitch and Jack are also in the band and they play bass and guitar respectively.
Yeah, awesome. So you're just on the last leg of your East Coast tour. How's it been?
Yeah, it's been sick. It's been heaps of fun.
Yeah.
Just meeting lots of cool people and everyone's really enthusiastic. Like a lot of the venues we've played at and places we've been, people are just, they really love watching original music and supporting live bands and that. So
yeah. And is this the first time you guys have played in Victoria?
No, we come here how long ago was it now? A couple of years ago?
Maybe
2.5?
2.5 years ago, yeah. Which was really good back then. It's great to be back, yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it down here. It's always good venues and, everyone supports live music. We find a lot in Melbourne, so it's really good, yeah.
Melbourne's got a great music scene. And the venues you guys are playing for the Melbourne part is the music.
We played last night in Bendigo, but
yeah.
That was at Music Man. Tonight's at the Star Hotel.
Yeah.
Or Star Bar or something like that. And the Rev on Saturday night. Or the
Revs.
Reverence. Is that the same as the Rev? Because I've heard the Rev said a lot.
There's Revolver and there's Reverence.
So what one do they call
is that
the
in
Rev?
the same building?
No, different suburbs.
Is Revolver in St Kilda? Or am I tripping? I'm tripping.
Revolver is in Chapel Street and that's Revs.
Okay.
Okay, so what have you guys learnt on this tour?
That's a really good question. Lots of stuff.
Learnt that snowboarding's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good.
We had a few days off, so we went out to Jindabyne and went and did some snowboarding, and
we'd never done it before, and it was like a lot easier than people said. Like I thought it was going to be pretty, easy enough to pick up because we've all done surfing and skating and things like that. But then everyone was like, "No, it's nothing like that. It's going to be really difficult," and it was heaps of fun. But yeah, as far as music goes, I think because we hadn't toured in so long, we just sort of stayed up in Queensland and did like the North Queensland run and played a few bigger festivals in and around where we live. Yeah, I guess you sort of got to keep on top of it and stay in touch with a lot of bands, and I think playing with the most suitable bands is probably the most important thing about touring. So yeah, if anyone, like any young bands out there thinking about touring and that sort of thing, just network with bands in other states and just become best mates, and you'll be best friends forever. Stay at their houses, just party.
Help each other out.
Yeah,
share the gear.
out. That's it. And that's another thing we've been doing, you share what you can, and it's just a great way to meet people as well. And you've all got similar interest, and yeah, it's good fun.
Absolutely. And you've had a bit of media reception for this tour as well, being on the cover of MX and also being dubbed by Tone Deaf for August as one of the Don't Miss tours of the month.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
We were stoked with that. He just emailed us and just said, "Man, I love your new song. Film clip looks rad. I'll give you a plug in that." And I was like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah, wicked.
It's great just to get people. I think like this song in particular has been probably our most successful single release ever, really, like with as far as like people getting behind it.
Yeah.
People in bands, promoters, like people that run magazines and webzines and blogs and things like that. Like everyone's just really stoked on it, which it feels really good, to create something and
that the people are feeling. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Kids is it an album coming up after that? Is that just a little...
Well, we've just released the single Kids, and we've got an EP coming out in November.
Yeah.
So it's not announced yet, but we're going to be doing another tour soon. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
Possibly around the time that we release the EP, just saying.
Very subtle hint there. Yeah. I like it. No fooling you. So having played with bands such as Taking Back Sunday, Guttermouth, Parkway, Drive, what are some of the bands that you'd like to play with in the future, or that you're looking at playing with this tour? You guys will be headlining, so maybe local or international acts. Yeah,
I mean, for this tour, trying to secure, it just seemed like a lot of bands were busy and touring. Everyone was touring. A lot of bands I hit up, to play with, because there's a lot of great local punk acts and sort of like rocky punk crossover, and a lot of good metal acts. But you know, we wanted to try and play with more sort of punk rock melodic bands, and everyone's so busy, which is great. Everyone's got their own shows going on. As far as internationals and that go, yeah, like any playing with any international band is great, because they're going to bring their, you know, their crew along, and you get to play in front of their audience. And because I think that's probably the hardest thing, being an emerging band, trying to reach people, trying to build awareness of yourself, I guess, and your music, like, because there's so many good bands out there, and I guess these days it's hard to have a point of difference, because so just play what you love and have a good time and work really hard.
Awesome. So, did a bit of a stalk, and you guys have really varied influences, such as Rise Against, Alexis on Fire, and then to the Mars Volta and Led Zeppelin. So, with this EP that you'll be releasing, what's going to be the standout influence or drive for that one?
Well, I guess as the influences kind of suggest that I guess we've always sort of never sounded like one specific genre, I guess, like they're metalcore, or they're not that we're that at all, but you know, different songs will have like this real thrashy sort of bit in a song, then it'll go down to like this real chilled out, almost proggy kind of bit, and just like real spacey sort of section in a song, and then back into it, like.
We're just trying to do our own thing, like not follow a certain scene or anything, just do what we love and what we think sounds awesome, and hoping that other people like it too.
Just sort of writing whatever feels good, you know, whatever comes. I mean, some stuff you write, oh no, that doesn't gel, you know, something doesn't work, it doesn't work. But as far as thinking like, oh, we need to be this style of band, like that, we don't really consider that. It's like...
Fantastic.
Yeah, just like that song sounds a bit too like this, it doesn't matter, we're playing it, I wrote the song, it's us, we're going to do this, let's do it.
It's great to have really diverse tracks and influences, and everyone's getting out there and really gender flying around a bit. I mean, genre.
Gender, I was like, where are we going with this?
Genre flying around, and it's really good. So what has been the absolute highlight of this tour, or a crazy PG-rated story?
So glad you asked. It's probably not PG, but I'll make it sound like PG, you know? I mean, if I filmed it and showed you, it'd get banned on the book and things like that. But so we get to a gig. Should we tell you where it was? Yeah, it was in Newcastle, and it was a really cool little venue. It's actually a pretty big venue, but in the back room where the bands play, it's just this sick little space. And before the band sort of night started, there was a function on, and it was this awesome young dude. It was his 21st, and he had Down syndrome, and his parents had got him a stripper. So we were in there loading our gear in, and they'd sort of, oh, you guys don't mind if there's a stripper coming? You guys don't mind? We're like, nah, man. Like, what do you? We're playing a band. Like, we're sick. So all the bands, no one was like, we were supposed to be setting up and that, and everyone was just like, stuff that. So we were all up on the tables, and this chick's in there just getting her gear off, and yeah, that was a like once in a band lifetime experience. I mean, obviously big shot rock star bands probably get into that sort of stuff all the time, but it was pretty cool. And then the gig was just sick, heaps of fun. It was just like a real party sort of vibe.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the weirdest kind of, you know, thing that's happened on a tour. I mean, there's been plenty of weird stuff. Some guy pooed his pants on the way home. He wasn't part of the band. We just given him a lift, right? This was in Melbourne one time a couple of years ago. Oh, can I get a ride back to Queensland with you? Yeah, bro, jump in. What'd you eat for breakfast? Something bad. And then my tummy feels funny. And then next thing he's like, we got to stop near this gum tree, man. And he pooed himself. So yeah, lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff when you come on tour with Drawcard. Yeah, we really know how to party and do our pants and stuff.
Fair enough, yeah. Sounds interesting enough. So what's a tip you can give to a band who wants to start touring?
Like, I pretty much just reiterating what I said earlier, the best way to do it is try to do as much as you can yourself, because if you can take control of, I guess, your own destiny or whatever, but like take control of your band and your band as a business unit, I suppose, as well. Contact promoters and that, and contact other bands is probably the biggest thing. Like I said earlier, chat to other bands that are a similar genre, and you know, you've all got a similar interest in what you want to do, and you'll soon find, I mean, you'll come across some that are kooks and, you know, won't sort of help you out in return and things like that, but you'll come across the best people you've ever met in your life. And yeah, and if you can both mutually help each other out, that's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. And is there any big shot producers or something you'd like to work with one day, or just you're a big fan of?
I've always wanted to work with Rick Rubin. I just reckon he's pretty cool.
Everyone's throwing that name around.
Yeah. He went a bit quiet for a while in the mainstream things, but because he's just done this Angus and Julia Stone thing, his name's back up all over the place. And I think with Dave Grohl's video thing he did, he was all over that. And he's got a sick beard too. He's just a dude.
And that's what counts.
Yeah.
So, in light of what's going on in the music scene at the moment, what do you guys think of crowdfunding? Because quite a few bands are getting on the bandwagon and doing a lot of that and getting good amounts of support from their fans. Would you guys ever crowdfund, or what's your opinion on?
We have sort of discussed it. I think it's a good idea. Yeah, and I mean, in the future we might even give it a crack, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've sort of talked about it, but not...
Yeah, we've never done one, but it does get so tough sometimes trying to find the funds to record and, you know, and release and everything like that. It gets really expensive, and yeah, so I suppose it's a good idea having that opportunity there for crowdfunding, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it's basically just a pre-sale of something you're going to create, so it's a wicked idea, and yeah, I mean, we probably will give it a crack down the track for our next album or something.
Do you think that more bands need to be encouraged to do this, and that the music industry is heading toward that way, since less sales and of records and things like that?
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's sort of puts the power back into the hands of the bands and the people, like the fans. They can, you know, they can put their hand up and say, yeah, here's $10, I'll buy your next EP, or I'll buy your next album. You know, it's like it's a sick idea.
Yeah.
And as long as you can promote it well enough and get people behind it, I think for a band starting out, it's not a good idea really, because you know, you need to have an established fan base and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you've sort of established your fan base and loyalty, like, you got to be touring and stuff like that, and like I said, buddy with other bands and network and that sort of thing, because once you sort of create loyalty with your fans, they're going to want to help you. So yeah, that's an important thing.
Absolutely. All right, well, thanks for coming in and chatting to me, guys.
No worries. Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks for the big hint before about the upcoming EP and tour, which
I hope I don't get in trouble for that. Oh
well. Very subtle. Hey, we don't know anything about it besides you've just got that track, Kids. Everyone look it up. The guys are awesome from Drawcard, and they're putting out some really cool stuff. If you miss them on their tour, then check them out on Facebook or something.
Yeah, we've got a Facebook page and a website, drawcard.net, or just straight up facebook.blah.drawcard, or whatever the normal Facebooks are. It's pretty bloody easy.
Beautiful. All right, cheers guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.